everyone, I'm Meredith and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am so excited that you've found me, and if you're returning, I'm so grateful you've decided to come back and watch more. I love all things luxury. I love luxury shoes, I love luxury handbags, I love luxury lifestyle and vlogging, and if they're things that appeal to you, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button down below and join me. Today I'm going to be doing a video around how I care for my luxury handbags. Overwhelmingly, the question I get asked the most here and on Instagram is how I store and care for my handbags. Now, those of you who are returning know that I have quite an extensive handbag collection. So I come at this from a standpoint of somebody who has a lot of handbags and has been collecting for 20 years. I've also had lots of conversations with my sales associates over the years on the best ways to take care of my handbags. So I am coming to you with information from my experience and conversations with my sales associates. But I am also coming to you with experience of those things within my country. It is incredibly important to understand that every country is different in terms of your climate and in terms of your weather. And these things have a bearing on your items. So they always need to be taken into consideration. At the moment here in Australia on the eastern seaboard, I'm from Sydney, so we're over on the eastern seaboard. We've had a lot of rain. A lot of rain this year. So there have been issues with mold in lots of people's households, whether it's not just a luxury handbag issue, it's an issue in general. So if you've got things in storage or things that aren't being aired correctly, many people are having issues with mold within their households. So that's been something that I've been really aware of. But generally, it's not been something that I've had an issue with over the years because we're not a terribly wet country. In fact, we're known for being a drought-stricken country. So usually we have the opposite issue where your bags are too dry and they're cracking. So it has been a new issue that has come up here in Australia. So they're things that I take into consideration when I look at how I store my handbag. I need to consider where I live and the climate that entails, and you need to do the same for your bags. So I can tell you that when I store my handbags, I store them like this. So this is a spread out version of what I have in this room around me. I have pallet racking, and yes, I know some people are absolutely devastated that I put beautiful handbags on pallet racking, but it is functional and they hold a lot, and I have a lot of handbags. So it makes sense to me that I have pallet racking in here. Eventually this backdrop will change. I'm going to have something much nicer for just for YouTube and for what you guys see, but for me, for storage, it will always be pallet racking. That is not changing. It is functional and handy. So all my bags are sitting out on pallet racking around me. They are out of their dust bags, and they are close enough that I can get a few on a shelf, but they're not so close that they're touching. So I ensure that they have complete airflow at all times. I am also, because we have had so much rain in this last year, I have also put several other things into place. So I have around the room and around my house in general, I have these moisture absorber helpers around. So I just got these on Amazon. They weren't expensive. I bought a whole heap and then I just spread them out throughout my house, and there are 2 in this room with me at the moment, and they're just there to absorb the moisture. Now, I've heard horror stories of these exploding and ruining handbags, so I do not put them so close to the handbags that is likely to happen. They are generally on the floor or up high away from the bags themselves, but still in the room to catch the moisture. So I have 2 of these in this room, and like I said, a whole heap of them around my house at the moment just because there is so much moisture in the air. So these are really handy. I also have in my wardrobes and with my ready to wear in here, and I even just have them hanging on some of the pallet racking, these. So these are clean air filters. They are charcoal inside, and they just collect the moisture. as well. And these are probably less concerning than these because these have never exploded, which is why I hang them in my wardrobes. So I just have them in there to capture the moisture and make sure none of my clothes go moldy. My ready to wear is actually out in the middle of the room on hangers, and it has plenty of airflow. But in my wardrobes where my day-to-day clothes are, my kid clothes are, these are hanging as well, just to stop any mold that might be building up in there. Also, just from Amazon. So once again, not terribly expensive, but a handy option to have nonetheless. I also have, and my sales associate and anyone who deals with luxury goods will tell you that these are amazing. So these are gel desiccant bags. And if you ever order anything from any warehouse ever, these probably come in the bags or the packaging that you get. So it's not just a luxury handbag thing, it's anything. So they just look like this. And they're moisture little pillows, and they're there to eat up the moisture. Now, your bags may well come with these, or the sales associate might take them out. I know my sales associate at Louis Vuitton steals all the ones from there. He doesn't steal them. He's not doing anything wrong. They're going to get thrown out anyway, but he keeps them as they take them out of the packaging as it comes in, and he uses them at home with all his luxury items. I have bought these off Amazon. These are brand new, and I bought them because the ones that you get in your handbags or that come with other things that you might order online, you don't know how long they've been in there or how much moisture they've soaked up. So I've got brand new ones so that I know they are brand new and that they're going to last me a little while. And I put these in all my handbags. I put them on the inside when I do them up, and they sit inside the handbags all the time, so that they are eating any moisture that might be built up in there, and I am not getting moldy handbags. So just from Amazon, guys, they're not expensive. Or you can just save them from packaging as it comes in. If you're not as anal retentive as I am, and you just want to save them, then that's obviously a really cheap option. But if you want to buy new ones, then you can, that's not a problem. So these are the solutions I've got to my mold concerns at the moment. I also have a dehumidifier. I don't use it very often, but there was a period through the very beginning of the year when the air was so wet here in Australia on the eastern seaboard from all the rain that paper felt wet. Like you'd pick things up and everything felt damp because there was so much moisture in the air. So I ran my dehumidifier at that point. So I'm pretty sure I bought it on Amazon, and I just plug it in, and it literally sucks the moisture out of the air into a container, and you just empty the container and leave it on. So you can feel the difference in the air when that is running. The air becomes very dry in the room that you're running it in. And I love it for that reason. So I don't run it all the time, but when I start to feel like the air is incredibly wet, I'll throw it on for a while in this room just to suck the moisture out of the air and to make it so that I don't have those mold concerns that are happening. There is also the other end of the scale. So there is when the air is too dry and you end up with cracking in your bags, and that is a concern. So we are a drought-stricken country here in Australia. We have suffered through drought for at least half of my life. And at those points, we have the opposite problem, that it is so dry. You have concerns about what is happening with your goods in terms of longevity. So if you need to put moisture into the air, you can run, so you've got a dehumidifier to suck the air out, or you can have a humidifier which puts the water into the air. So for those of you who might live in very dry countries or very dry states within your countries, if you're finding that your bags are getting very, very dried out, especially for canvas bags, and you might be concerned about some cracking, you can run a humidifier just to put a little bit of moisture into the air. Do not put too much moisture into the air. Do not run it day and night. It's not going to be good for your items. But if you're finding the air is too dry, your aircon is running all the time, but aircon can be very drying also. If you've got no moisture in your air, run your humidifier just for a little while. Do not close the door to the room, leave the door open, and just run it gently in the corner just to put a little bit of moisture in the air, and then turn it off. You don't want to go too far in the opposite direction. And I would say this is only if you've experienced extreme heat for a long period of time. I have never had cracking of my canvases, and like I said, we are a drought-stricken country, so I have never had that happen. But if it was a long-term thing and summer and winter weren't going to be any different and I was going to have issues with it, I would put my humidifier on just to get a little bit of moisture into the air and then turn it off. Like, don't run it for too long. So they are the other concerns that you may have. So if it's too wet or too dry. Those of you who live in nice climates where it's like, 24 degrees Celsius year round, yay for you, go you, you're lucky. And you probably don't have any concerns where this is concerned at all. You probably just put your items out, or you keep them in the boxes or whatever, and you've got no issues. Any sales associate will tell you you're better off to not have your items in the boxes full time or in their dust bags full time. If you can put them out on display or just out of their boxes and dust bags, it will always be better for the items themselves. I know people have concerns around, especially Louis Vuitton and Vachetta, and having sunlight on them and they start to patina. My thoughts around that are, if you were so concerned about it, was it really worth buying it? Because as soon as you go out into the sunlight, it's going to get sun on it and it's going to start to patina. I think if you're buying the Vachetta, you understand that it needs to breathe like all leather does, and that a byproduct of that is that it will patina, and that adds to the beauty of the piece. So if you're so concerned about a little bit of sunlight getting on your bag in the first place, and maybe Vachetta is not your best leather anyway, you should be choosing something that doesn't have Vachetta. If you have space issues and you can only store things in wardrobes, please try and store them out of the boxes at the very least, even if you leave them in the dust bags. The more airflow you can create, the better for the bags, or the items, or the small leather goods, whatever it is. It's always going to be best to give it more airflow rather than less. Stagnant air creates mold and many other issues. So please, if you can get them out, get them out. If they can be out in the fresh air, then that's even better. So there's some airflow happening in your house. That's great. In this room where I am, I have my dehumidifier, like I said, that I don't run very often, but what I will do is open the window every now and again and just get some cross airflow, just to ensure that there's no buildup of anything that shouldn't be there. So try and open window, get some airflow if it's possible with the space you have. I appreciate that I am lucky to have a whole room dedicated to this, and not everybody has that, but whatever you can provide is better than nothing. So try and provide some airflow. And then we have the issue around how I actually treat my bags. So I don't treat my bags with anything. I don't put Apple Guard on it. I don't put a conditioner on any of them, no matter which ones they are. I don't put anything on my bags. My thoughts around third-party products, and that is products that aren't made by the company who made the bag, are that it doesn't matter how well made they are or how well researched they are. At the end of the day, you're putting something on your bag that was not made by the producer of that bag. And that always concerns me. So I know people like to treat the Vachetta with Apple Guard because it patinas up the leather really quickly. If that's something you choose to do, then that's great. You go for that. I don't do it. I allow my bags to patina and age in their own way. I don't treat any of my leathers. If they got a scratch, I might, like my Chanel ones, they come with a mitt. I might try and buff it out a little bit, but I would never put anything on it. If I had real concerns, there are bag spas that I do trust, and I trust them because the brands that I'm buying from are using those bag spas. That's the only reason I would use that bag spa. I would take it there and I would allow them to work on it because they understand the leathers and they understand the products that they're using. They've got experience with that. If the top fashion houses trust them with bags, then I will too. But I'm not just sending it out to anyone that I have no idea about and that I've done no research on. So just be careful with bag spas as well. Where are you finding them and how did you find them? What recommendations did you have? But yeah, there's no me treating my bags. There's no me putting products on my bags. I don't do any of that. If something got, like if I spilt wine or food on it, then obviously I would wipe it off, but I'm then not trying to condition it myself. I don't do that. I would be incredibly uncomfortable doing that, because if I ruin the bag, then really I only have myself to blame, and I don't want to be angry at myself for that. So that's a consideration as well. Just remember that the products you are using, if you're using products on them, are a third-party product, and they're not going to be supported by the brand that you bought it from, because they just won't. They're never going to back in another product. And if you take it back because you've ruined it, they're probably not going to fix it, would be my best guess. And then we come to stickers on hardware. If you haven't seen my unboxing of my Pochette Metis with the stickers and my angry unboxing, I will link that down below for you. But I have a real thing about stickers on hardware. If you get a bag and it still has stickers on it, as most do, you can leave them on for a very short period of time. As soon as you start to see lifting in them, take them all off. They've been on there long enough, it's time for them to come off. Their bags are not sold with the thought that those stickers are going to stay on there. Louis Vuitton, Dior, Hermes, Gucci, any brand. When they put the stickers on the bag, they are not thinking they are staying there. They're not made to stay there. They have not produced these stickers to be long-term additions to your bags. So they will always start to lift and become a problem. You need to take them off. I know people love their stickers, and I'm so sorry that I am saying this, but they're just not made to be on there, guys. They're just not. I know that people want to protect their bags and not get scratches on them. I understand that. I honestly do. But they're not made to be there long term. They just aren't. They're not tested. Nobody has done a 30-year study of leaving these stickers on the bag and then given feedback about, oh, we should change the glue because it needs to be on there for 30 years. No, because no brand is making them to be left on them. They are simply put on to protect the bag during transport up to the point of purchase, and then the brands believe the stickers are coming off. That's what those stickers are made for. So keep that in mind when you look at those stickers coming out of the houses when you buy the bags. They're not made for that purpose. In terms of third-party stickers, stickers made by other brands, and they talk about being high-end or, you know, we're the best sticker or whatever, I pose this question to you. Find me a company that has done the 30 years of research on their stickers in all climates. There isn't any. People make these stickers to go on your bags because they know that you want to protect them and they can make money out of that. But where is their research? So someone in Montreal, Canada has come up with a sticker design, they've patented it, they've then produced it probably in a warehouse outside of the country they live in. But where is their research on how those stickers go in their climate versus my climate versus Dubai climate versus, pick a country, French climate? Like, where is the research on that? There is no company that is doing research on every single climate, and stickers react differently based on the climate it is in. So the incredibly wet climate that I'm currently experiencing here in Sydney, Australia, will have a different effect on stickers to the incredibly dry climate of Dubai. The stickers will react differently. So here in Australia at the moment, with it being incredibly wet, those stickers will probably start to get tacky and then lift and maybe even become moldy. Whereas in Dubai, they're likely to dry out and leave a residue on the handbag or peel off altogether and possibly have left a discoloration on your handbags. So please be careful with the third-party stickers. And I know, when I did my last video and I talked negatively about them, I had lots of people come at me and go, I haven't had any issues. Fantastic. I am so happy that you haven't had issues. I hate seeing ruined hardware. I had that experience myself. I don't want that for anyone. And I am so happy that you haven't had that experience. But I would say you were lucky. I would say that you are the anomaly and not the rule. I would say that ultimately most of these stickers, if they're left on, will eventually erode and ruin your hardware. And you spend so much money on these bags, you don't want them ruined. So I understand not wanting the hardware scratched, but weigh it up against having it ruined. What's more important to you? That it might get a few scratches on it, or that it ends up ultimately completely ruined and needing to be replaced because of these stickers. You may have a great experience for years with these stickers. You may do exactly what the manufacturer tells you, which is to put them on as soon as you get the bag and to change them out every 12 months. You may follow that emphatically, constantly, without question. You do it on schedule. It's in your diary. And congratulations to you. You are a far better person than I am. If you do that and you don't have any issues, that's fantastic. But I just have real concerns where these brands of these stickers they're not, what's their research? What research have they done? I'm a data-driven person. If you can show me the research that shows that you've done the testing in all climates for all amounts of time and it has not caused any damage to any hardware on any brand bag, I will back you in as a fantastic company and I will promote you. I will promote you for free. But nobody can give me that because it doesn't exist. Nobody is doing research across all climates and all countries with their stickers to ensure that doesn't matter where you live, that sticker is safe for your hardware. So I'm not willing to risk it. I will not risk my bags over something that is untested. If you want to do it for your bags, then you need to do what is best for you and what you feel is best. I have been asked to do videos on how I care for my bags and my thoughts around taking care of them, and these are my thoughts and my opinions. And most certainly everybody is welcome to ignore me completely, because who am I really at the end of the day, other than someone who just owns a lot of handbags and has been collecting for years. It doesn't make me an expert. I don't claim to be one. These are just my thoughts. So ultimately, how do I care for my bags? I just leave them out. I let them do their thing. I keep them in a clean environment where I monitor the air around it, and I provide, tools to ensure that I don't have mold. And really, that's it. I don't do a whole heap more than that. And I think that's how these bags are made. I believe they are made to just be treated as handbags. They're not made for you to have to baby them. So if you choose to do that, that's cool. I understand it. But the brands aren't making them so that you baby them. They're making them to be used. So I think that's an important point to remember sometimes. These bags have been made by artisans to be used. And that's what we should be doing with them. If you have liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. If there are other topics you'd love to hear me talk on, I would welcome them. By all means, give me comments down below on other things that you might like me to talk about. I'm not an expert, but I have a collection and I'm more than happy to share whatever knowledge I have, no matter how small it may be. If you would like to follow me over on Instagram, I will throw up my handle for you down below. I put a lot up about my collection, my day-to-day life, new collections that are coming out. So please come follow me over there. I hope wherever you are in the world today, you are having a fabulous day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.